This week on Mysteriously Disappeared, we look at the case of Rico Omarr Harris, a former basketball player with the Harlem Globetrotters. Harris is thought to have disappeared on his way to Seattle in hopes of starting a new life after surviving his personal struggles with substance and family. But he never made it to his final destination. So let's look at the mysterious disappearance of Rico Omarr Harris. Born on May 19, 1977, in Los Angeles, Rico's father, a semi-professional basketball player, was a violent and abusive person who would turn his anger on Rico and his mother. By the early 1990s, his parents divorced, and Rico went to live with his mother. Like his father, Rico Harris showed an interest in playing basketball from a young age. Harris eventually reached a height of nearly 7 feet. And although he lived with his mother in Alhambra, California, he used his father's Temple City, California address to attend high school, where his star talent on the court began to rise. Rico Harris was praised for his NBA-level potential throughout his high school career, so it wasn't long before he began attracting attention from top college scouts checking out his game. Eventually, he settled on Arizona State University in Tempe. It was at Arizona State that Rico's troubles would begin. In March of 1996, Rico Harris was arrested for unlawful imprisonment after 2 women claimed that some players, including Harris, forced them to have sex against their will. Although the charges were dropped after investigators noticed inconsistencies in the women's stories, coaches asked Harris to sit out the season. He refused and transferred to Los Angeles City College, leading the team to its first state championship. Then, in 1998, Rico Harris transferred to California State University at Northridge, close to his mother. But once again, trouble began brewing. He started getting suspended for being a disruptive influence and was eventually kicked off of the team. Ultimately, Rico Harris began playing for the Harlem Globetrotters in March 2000, and things were looking up. Unfortunately, less than a month after joining the basketball exhibition team, he was attacked so severely that he couldn't play basketball anymore. From 2000 to 2007, Harris increasingly fell victim to his alcohol addiction and spiraled into dependency on heroin, crack, and methamphetamines. He soon racked up more than a dozen arrests ranging from trespassing to burglary and appearances before the courts. He even overdosed on prescription medication. But in 2007, Rico Harris began to turn his life around. He got clean after completing a rehab program provided by the Salvation Army. He got a steady job working a security detail and even began a serious relationship. In September 2014, Harris moved to Seattle, and it seemed like things were finally coming together. On October 9, 2014, Rico Harris visited his family, hoping to get closure for his family issues. Harris continued to yearn for his father's approval despite violent abuse. The visit with his family was brief and marred by failure to get what he hoped out of the conversation. After buying a new cell phone for his younger brother as a present, Harris departed for Seattle shortly after midnight on October 10th. As he traveled on Interstate 5, Rico stopped at a gas station outside Sacramento to refuel. Then, at 10:45 a.m. on October 10th, 2014, he called his girlfriend and told her he'd be going up into the mountains to rest. He hadn't gotten much sleep since leaving Seattle, and he wanted to arrive feeling refreshed. He had a job interview the following day as a property appraiser. Then, at 11:15 a.m., he lost cell phone reception and never regained it. His message was the last time anyone ever heard from him again. 3 days later, police discovered his car in the parking lot of a remote park of California, Route 16, near Cache Creek, about 60 miles north of Sacramento. But Harris was nowhere to be found. For days, investigators combed the area using all-terrain vehicles, airplanes with thermal imaging, and search dogs. They eventually found his backpack with his phone inside. They found all but one of his credit cards in the car and a plastic bottle containing some kind of alcohol. A few people reported seeing a man that matched his description the week after his disappearance, but none was positively identified as Harris. An eyewitness came forward and told investigators he had seen Rico Harris at 5:30 a.m. on October 11th, sitting on a guardrail overlooking the creek, which was 500 yards from where Rico's phone and backpack were found. Another person came forward saying he had seen Rico walking alongside Route 16 at 8 a.m. that day. On October 19th, searchers came across a trail of size 18 sneakers a few yards south of where Rico's car was found. In addition, several eyewitnesses have said they had seen a tall man wearing light-colored pants in the early morning hours of October 18th. By October 22nd, the search was scaled back and is officially at least still ongoing. Let's look at the theories of what might have happened to Rico Harris. Number 1. Out of gas. The car appeared ransacked, which was later explained by a video found on the cell phone, as well as being out of gas and having a dead battery. Detectives feel that Rico may have walked off to find a town in search of gas and gotten lost. Not knowing the way and being drunk, passed out, or got lost in the woods, was never found and possibly died out of dehydration and starvation. Number 2. Sleep deprivation and alcohol. Reportedly, investigators wondered why Harris had been on this particular stretch of road since it had been so far from the I-5 freeway, the direct route from LA to Seattle. As reported, inside the car were 2 bottles, one still containing alcohol. Rico had also reportedly not slept in 36 hours. Number 3. He ditched his old life. As we stated previously, a man called police to tell them he'd found a backpack and cell phone that he believed belonged to Harris. The phone included the video of Harris ripping things up in his car and throwing his CDs. While that explained the car's appearance, it did not shed any light to Rico's perplexing behavior. While a few people have come forward to claim they saw Harris near the area where he went missing, nothing conclusively points to a reason as to why Harris was in the area or behaving erratically. Detectives from the Yolo County Sheriff's Office don't suspect foul play. Instead, he believes Harris ended up in the area after getting lost. Evidently, his phone indicated the route was haphazard. Harris stuck around for a while, pondering his situation in life, and then, once he found his car had been towed, walked or hitchhiked a ride somewhere. This is a very unlikely scenario due to the size of Rico. At 6 foot 9 inches and 300 pounds, he would be very easy to spot. The search has continued for Rico, and the family hopes that he will be found one day. The family has never stopped wondering what could have happened to Rico since the day he mysteriously disappeared. So, what do you think really happened to Rico Harris? Please leave your theories in the comments. Also, let us know whom you'd like us to investigate. Finally, don't forget to like the video, click the notification button, and subscribe so that you never miss an update about who mysteriously disappeared.